Hi girls, welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny with Planner Perfect, and I coach women how to write a better story for their lives through the power of scripting. I want to welcome you. Today's video, we're going to be doing a goal check, how to set your monthly goals. I'm going to go over my July goals with you in this specific video, and how to use the Planner Perfect method within that construct. And we're going to talk about why the method works and why you should begin implementing it. Stay tuned. Girls, welcome or welcome back. I'm really glad that you're here. I'm going to be going over my July goals today. I'm going to be talking about how I came up with those. I put some goal sections in the beginning, the goal sections in the beginning of each planner for each month, so that you could have a place that has room to write different activities, functions, and ideas for growth that you wanted to implement in each month. Because within each month, you want to be able to move the needle in your life. You want to be able to do some introspection. You want to be able to grow. You want to be able to move forward with your life. A lot of times we are very stagnant. We are on automatic pilot. We do the same things day in, day out, and our reality really virtually looks the same. When we are to be taking our place as creators and to be able to allow God to use us as vessels to demonstrate his power. And you can't really do that if you don't even know what power you have, the power of your mind, and how he's going to be used by you and how he is able to do that. So these planners are perfect because of the fact that when you script, which is basically a long-handed way of really being thorough in your intentions for the day, you're virtually really just dreaming on paper about that day before it even happened. So I love the scripture that says, whatever you ask for when you pray, believe that you received it and it will be yours. And prayer is virtually when you are deliberately thinking and praying out loud or just in your mind of a good report, something for yourself or someone else who God says that they are and how God sees them and how God sees you. If you see something other than that in them and or in you, then that is you praying in secret so that it will be manifest publicly so that you can create change in this world. In this video, I'm going to give you some goals here that I know I have thoroughly just dreamed out, and this is why when you script, your days actually just become effortless and you don't even have to try, because you've really programmed your mind to be able to execute these goals and your days. So I'm going to turn you around. I'm going to show you my goals and we're going to chat about it. Okay, I am in Madeline A5, and I love it because metallics to me are completely scream summer, and I just love it. I've got some of our new charms sitting on here that will be available in the end of June is what I am hoping. And then I got this in Florida, so I thought I'd put it on. It's perfect for summer. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I have got this is also my new magnets that are coming right here, which is so cute. So let's dive into July. This is one of the magnets too that's coming, which is my art daisy, my daisy that I painted. So I got my calendar. I add and take away or do whatever needed. The calendar is always the first thing that you're going to go to. You're going to really jot down all those important dates. Here I've even got what weeks I have grandbabies, what weeks I don't. So I had the 4th of July. What makes these goals really great is that you have a place to really think about what you want to do for a certain holiday or a birthday. And so I love this for that. I've been doing it this way for 30 years. And so, because before I even created my own planner, I made my own planner, just made it with loose leaf paper. I mean, so I was able to do this. Now I've made them so that you too can plan this way, but it's inspiring and beautiful and ready to go. So these goals, I had like my menu, my guests, I had like 15. It ended up even straggling up around 20. So I made sure I had the food for it. I even wrote down some things that I still needed, but we did pulled pork, we did homemade hamburger buns. So I made sure that within my week then, since this was one of my goals, that I was going to be able to make homemade hamburger buns. I made coleslaw, so I made it really delish. I actually have a YouTube video that I'm going to post down below in the link description of how I prepared for my 4th of July menu. So be sure to check that out. It's a lot of fun. There I did the hamburger buns. I made the beautiful chantilly cake, and I made the coleslaw, or at least I prepped for it. So you'll see that there. So, and I made the homemade barbecue sauce. So make sure you get on over there and you'll see those recipes there if you want to do them all summer, which is really fun. I did homemade baked beans. We had some chips. I did a pasta salad that was to die for, and chantilly cake, and we had white wine. So, and for kids, of course, I had a lot of different pop and stuff like that for them for that occasion. So I had everything that I needed. Check out that video. It was amazing, and I was completely set. Guests came around 5. They hung around. We had wine. Kids were already starting to light some fireworks. And then we dove into dinner, and then the big show came on later that night, where we were the ones that kind of put that on. So here then I've also got my diet goal. I hate the word diet, but I want to... I know that I sound redundant when I've changed my diets a bunch of time, but if I may, in defense of myself, say that all of the times that I have gone back on diets was for health, as in trying to heal myself, I since then have disregarded that way of looking at things. I eat very clean and very well, and I am correcting my neck, so I kind of have more of a structural problem. And but I really want to get to my goal weight. I have a goal weight. Like, I'm happy with my weight, but I have a goal weight. So I have always really loved plant-based. I've always felt good on it. I absolutely feel amazing. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go back on it again and reach my goal weight and go from there. So I wrote down what my goal was just writing down everything that I wanted to do. And so I'm limiting my fat on this diet. I have a goal, like one of my son's wedding is in September. So I'm kind of going by, that's one of my time frames, like 3 months from now, I want to be at this weight. Eating clean, just basically I'm eating starches and potatoes and vegetables of all kinds, lots of starches, which fill you up. And then of course, plenty of vegetables. So, and lots of fruit. So all of that being said, I'm going to do a separate video on this and kind of track my progress with you. So if you guys are interested in that, then stay tuned for that. So I'm going to be going over my whole weight loss structure with you on that. So here I've got a birthday coming up, and it's Waylon, my grandson, and Blaine. So Blaine is my youngest boy out of 8, and he is going to be turning 11. I can't even believe it. And Waylon, my baby, is turning 6. So can barely believe that either. So anyways, so amazing. We're going to do it this next Saturday. So I would love to even do another YouTube on how I prepare for this party. And I have the 19th is actually Blaine's birthday, and the 23rd is actually Waylon's. But to be able to combine them and do this, I had to come up with a date that was conducive for everyone, and that was conducive for everyone. So
we're doing this Saturday the 13th. I have my menu, which is homemade pizza, popcorn, ice cream cake, ice cream sandwiches, and popsicles. And I'm going to have I rented a big, huge water slide for my backyard, which we've been doing now. Will be the second year, so it'll be tons of fun. They had a blast. I never saw them for 6 hours. And so I want that to happen again. Of course, Wesley will be a part of it as well. And the whole family's coming, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to do actually pizzas on the grill. So I am excited. It's always a hit, and that's going to be fun. It's going to be 95 in pure sun so far. So I'm excited. I got it all out. I've already rented the slide. I've got everyone invited. I've got some aunts coming. And uncles. I am thrilled. I got almost everything done. Now it's just as I lead up closer to the party, I'll know now what I need to make and what I need to do in order for that to be a success. So it's just, I love it. I'm very, very planned. I'm very, very organized, and I know what I'm doing. For the whole month of July, all of the things that I need to do are put in front of me, and the intentions are laid. Nothing is by surprise. Nothing is last minute. Nothing is going to be 10% of me or 20% of me. I always do everything 100%, and this is how I do it. This is my YouTube goals for July. So I'm really wanting to amp up my YouTube. And so I wrote down some of my favorite things that I really would think that you guys want to see from what I've gathered from my fans page on Facebook and even on YouTube here, what you guys share that you'd love to see. So I'm going to be doing some of that. So I have that here. I do have like a book that I have a long, big, huge list of ideas, and then I pull from it for how, and just put it in here because it makes it really easy and convenient for me to see and look at. So that is that. So I've got my YouTube, I've got birthdays, I've got diet goal, and I've had my 4th of July. So it just ended up being really, really perfect. So in luau of really talking about goals and such, let's chat a little bit about why setting goals is important first off. And we touched on that. And the big thing is that if even you want to make sure that you're going through each part of your life and making sure that you're dissecting it and seeing where you can improve upon and what you really want. Again, women don't even really know what they want either. And men. But I'm specifically talking and speaking to women. And sometimes maybe even women know what they want, but they don't think that they can have it. But God doesn't want us to be limited, and God works through us. And so he needs you to be able to use your imagination. If you can imagine it, you can do it. Because through God, all things are possible. And what does that mean? It means that all things are possible. If you can imagine it, and you're really imagining when you even write in detail. It's just a long-handed way of using your mind and your focus. And so you're using your imagination to see it. Like when I was writing out that I was going to get this water slide that they love in the backyard, I was even seeing it getting put up, blown up. I was seeing ideas of, and I think I wrote it down in here even, that they spend the night on Friday night, Waylon and Wes on Friday night, because I get them all week this week leading up to it. And then they could wake up to the guy coming up, putting it up, and they could be the first one on the slides before guest arrives. And it's just, I envision that. I'm visualizing it. I'm using my imagination. And when that happens, that's how you create, and that's how God flows through you, is through just that everything that is lovely. That's your mind on Christ. And it's using and tapping into the power that's in you. And so everything flows. I can't tell you how much I've done this and how much it has. Everything I put my pen and paper to, when I write in here, it just comes to pass. And it's actually quite effortless. Because you know what? Quite honestly, you know what the hard work is? Your time and thinking about how you want things to go and what you want. That's the hardest part of it all. But guess what? The hardest part, I think, is the hurdle of actually sitting yourself down to do it. Because we're all such busybodies and we find things to do. And then the thought of just concentrated focus can sometimes feel like such a chore, but it should be the only chore that you really do. And there is no other power other than God's power. Nothing can have more control over you and should never have more power over you than God. God is your source. And so we need to always be, because I think a lot of times we think, well, we'll fix things here and we'll fix things here and we'll fix things carnally here and all this. But really your power is in what is not in the flesh. It's in the spirit. And so in order to do that, that's you using your mind, dreaming about what you desire and how you want to care or serve others and yourself and how you're going to carry out this life. And you actually become what you are envisioning and planning. So when I'm thinking of these YouTube videos, I got all these down and I'm thinking, how can I best serve these women so that they too can be fulfilled and live a life of intention and purpose and run the race. And it's fulfilling, and it's something that I'm eager to do and I want to do, and I love creating these ideas. And when you create and think of ideas, more good ideas keep flowing because you're in kind of that receptive mode. And that's what I mean. What's really wonderful too is that when you start getting the pen, I think the biggest hurdle is just getting your pen and grabbing your planner. Because once you do that, and if you've been using my method for any length of time, you'll know that once you put the pen to paper, or what I've always said too, when I lay that washi down, I'm already getting inspired. It's like it's just creating this momentum of more things like it. And so like I get inspired, so then I'll lay down a sticker, and then I'm feeling eager and inspired to dream for more for my life, for my children, and everything else. I've come now where I used to hyper focus materially and changing matter. Like I would try to, in the flesh, try to change flesh and control it. And I was always hit with resistance, always hit with a power struggle. And I have now known that if I see a symptom in one of my kids' bodies, if I see them acting in a certain way or acting out in a certain way, I pray. I go and see them acting as they are joyful and happy and not frustrated. And then I just, and that's where I go. Like, what do I want and how do I see them? That's what I plan, and those are my goals. How do I see my kids? How do I see them flourishing? How do I see them operating? What do I want for them? Think through these things. And I'm thinking of all good reports and everything that is lovely. And I don't look at anything that's not. And that's where it comes in that you are to take your eyes away from the flesh and go inward and think through the spirit, because God is spirit. So in order to create change, you got to operate in the spirit. And the spirit is not your mind, but more your imagination. It's more what you can dream up. Your mind is really only something that's like a program. So in order to really change the program, it really only starts with knowing what you want. And your mind will go ahead and help you in this matter, and you'll be able to easily even reprogram through scripting. You can reprogram the mind. And we'll go in more detail with all of that in other videos. When it even comes to this, talking about my diet, I can see myself at a certain goal weight. I can see myself at that weight. That feels good to me, and it makes me feel at peace. So I know that I'm fulfilling something, and I feel good about it because I feel at peace. I don't feel stressed. I don't feel like, oh gosh, how am I going to quit chocolate? I don't feel that way. I feel at peace because I can see it in my mind's eye. So if I can see it, then it's possible, and I automatically feel at peace. I don't have to try to be at peace. I feel at peace. So that's where your goals are going to come in. When I'm planning my 4th of July, I am excited. I can see the party happening. I can see greeting people coming in, hugging my adult children that are over all the time anyway. It's a thrill of my life to being able to always be with them. And it's something that everything just flows, and everyone loved the cake, and everyone's having a blast and laughing and having so much fun together. And of course, in my prayer time and my prayer closet, I'm thinking about how much all my relationships are joyful and full of laughter. That's even a preface before I write down something on paper about a specific day. And so all of this kind of all of it flows very well together. Those are my goals, girls. I would love to hear more about your goals. I also love using my washi now. This is my new thing. I used to do it back in the day, and I've redone it, and now I'll never turn back. But as you can see, like, I'll take my washi and wrap it around the page. It makes it girthy with substance, and I can't. By the way, we're going to go over my plan with me. I'm going to go over my week with you of that 4th in another video. So be staying tuned for that. I know I'm a little behind the 8 ball, but it's fine. I mean, you can always use this information, but here's my 4th of July page. But try the washi folder on the page. It's so amazing. Girls, I hope that this video, short but sweet, has really inspired you to dream big and to never stop dreaming, to improve, to look at a good report, and to be intentional about your life, to actually just sit down, be in a quiet place, and dream about how you want your month to look and the people in it, you yourself, how you're moving around, operating. What do you want for yourself with your health or with a project you're doing? Or maybe there was a holiday or a child you're praying about. Whatever's in that forefront, you can put those in here as goals of how you're seeing them and how you want to execute those things. I hope that this is no regular type of video. This is a video that a lot of people don't even really talk about. But this is how the scripting method works. This is how your plans become answered prayers. This is how things flow. Because you are not focusing on problems and fixing them. You're going into the Spirit and you're really dreaming up things and allowing God to work through you, and you're going to see it flow. Let me know what you think of this video and how you've implemented the Planner Perfect method and goals and how it's worked for you. Let me know down below. Until next time.